You've just been approved for your first foster dog, and this is a really exciting time, and you can't wait to get the dog in your house. But first you're going to have to prepare your house for the new dog's arrival. And if this is a case like I had, you're going from a no-dog household to a dog in the household. So there's a lot of things that you might be doing that aren't safe for dogs, and you need to really go through and do a thorough check of your house. So what things do you actually need to look for? Well, I've been through this a few times now with various fosters, and I feel like each time a new foster dog comes into my house, something goes a little bit wrong and I learn, okay, I need to do that as well next time before I bring the next dog into my house. So I'm going to share with you a little list of some of the things that I do to prepare my house each time a new foster dog comes in. But this list will probably keep evolving as I get more and more foster dogs and learn even more about how different personalities can mesh with my house. So step one is puppy proofing. I've learned very quickly that treat a new foster dog like you would treat a brand new puppy coming into your house, which is a baby dog that knows absolutely nothing about living in the human world, and you're able to avoid problems before they even crop up. So this is things like making sure that you're getting any hazards out of the way. So looking for different wires that a dog might chew on and making sure that they're elevated or shut away. Getting different chemicals that a dog might be able to get into. So maybe they're down on ground level and a dog could figure out how to open the cupboard. I do things like I will tape some of my cupboards shut on the first few days just to test whether a dog is able to try and open them before I actually take the tape off and trust that they won't. You'll also want to look if you have got a garden space for different hazardous things like plants. So some plants are very poisonous to dogs and you don't want them to be eating them. So pull those up, get them out of the way before anything like that happens. And another part of puppy proofing, which is making sure your valuables are out of the way. If a dog's going to chew, it's probably going to chew on something that you find valuable. So just eliminate that chance altogether by getting them elevated or getting them out of the rooms that your foster dog is going to live in. One good way to make sure that your foster dog isn't going to get at anything that you don't want it to get at is by actually going down at the dog's level, and not just at the level that they will stand at, but the level of them if they are on their back paws or potentially jumping up a little bit. So let's think like a Labrador stood just on all four paws may not be able to reach a counter, but it can definitely reach a counter on its hind paws, and if it's a Labrador, it's probably going to try to get at the food. But the good thing about fostering is you probably know some sort of information. So let's take that same Labrador again. If it's a senior Labrador, it may not physically be able to jump or get on its hind legs, in which case your counters are actually safe. So you can account for that as well by going down to the dog's level and putting yourself in the dog's head and going, what could this dog physically be able to get to? One really good thing that you can do to prepare your house for a foster dog is to know which zones your dog is going to be allowed into and to create those zones and barricade off certain areas. So my first few foster dogs, I let them free roam the house, and it was a bit of a disaster because there were house training accidents and the dogs didn't know any of the boundaries and they would go just running off around the house and barking and all sorts. And really, ever since that, I have started to segregate different parts of my house. So I have a baby gate on my stairs, so I get to control when the dog goes upstairs. And I also have a gate on my utility room. That becomes the dog's safe space, and the dog gets shut away in there and rewarded with lots of good things, treats and toys and stuff for being in there, so that it has a safe area to retreat to if it needs to. And I've got a space where I can keep it, and I know that that space is fully dog proof and fully okay for the dog to be in while other stuff is going on in my house. You're also going to want to get in supplies. So depending on which rescue organisation you've gone with, it will really depend on how many supplies you're going to need to get. If you've gone with an organisation that will supply you with everything, that's great, you're all set. But if you've gone with one that will only, say, pay for vet visits, you're going to need to get in all of the standard dog stuff as if you were getting your own pet. So food bowls, blankets, bedding, different toys, treats. Poo bags is one big thing, so sometimes rescues won't supply those. Make sure that you've got poo bags in. even if they do supply some, you're going to run out very quickly. One thing that people might not think about is cleaning supplies. So you're probably going to have house training accidents with a fair few of the rescues. And when a foster dog comes in, you don't want there to be a house accident and all of a sudden you realise you don't have the appropriate cleaning supplies for preventing things like remarking of an area. So getting in those proper cleaning supplies can really help. One thing that I'd recommend that I didn't initially have when I first started fostering is a little digital radio. This is a really good way to signal to the dog that it's time to calm down and have some relaxed time. So I will now put on this radio on a low level whenever I want my dog to settle in its safe area, or I'm going to leave the house, or I want it to just sleep while I'm busy doing something. And this radio acts as both a way to mask some of the other noise going on in my neighbourhood so the dog stays calmer, as well as a way for the dog to feel like potentially there's some people around if it's dozing. And it's also just one of those like environmental signals, similar to picking up my keys means I'm leaving the house. Turning on the radio means it's time to relax. So that is one tool that I've recently gotten that has really helped me. And before the dog shows up, you're going to want to do a perimeter check. Make sure that there are definitely no escape points. And not just that there aren't escape points as in holes in the fence or wall, or an ability for the dog to like jump over the wall. You're going to want to make sure that things like your bins aren't tucked right up against your fence, acting as a step stool so that the dogs can jump onto the bins and then over the fence. So again, get down on the dog's level. What could a dog physically get to in the perimeter of my house and my garden? And is there any feasible way you can think of that they could escape? Now, one way when you do get your foster dog home to help mitigate this is to keep them on the lead for the first few days and see where they are naturally drawn to and see if they notice any escape points that you don't. But making sure before they even arrive that you do a perimeter check can really help solve a problem before it appears. And that's really what it's about when you're bringing a first foster dog home and you're preparing your house to get that foster dog into it. You want to just make sure that you're mitigating against any problems that could crop up before they even start to crop up. So you're putting things in place for how you can manage the dog and to make sure the dog isn't escaping or getting into trouble or destroying your things the minute it gets home. You're trying to start off with a good footing and with good boundaries in place so that it immediately learns what it can and can't do, and it's not going to learn as soon as it comes into the house, oh, I can tear up this lovely valuable thing of yours, or oh, I can go rooting in a sock drawer because it's there for me straight away. If it doesn't even see those things, then it's not going to get into the habit of destroying your things. If you like this video, then make sure to click the like button and to keep an eye on the channel because I'll be posting more videos very soon.